Mankessim.
Right. But Captain, I'm going to Mankessim no. My main chair with you for now, a part of the Youth of Ghana clinical team. Captain, now 4th of July, and now America's Independence Day. I'll just like to read a little bit of Onua Declaration of Independence, Onua Declaration of Independence. I'd like to read just a portion of it.
Okay.
Before I start, yes. I must say, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. I say, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Captain say that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Captain, let me leave this one here, Yembra Maakye, and then I'll touch back on this one.
Okay.
And to the American government, we wish them happy independence, but we'd like to remind them of the values and the principles which they hold true in the declaration of their independence. Now, sir, the American system and what America was supposed to be, there's a huge divergence. And see, this is a very good time, sir. America would look and backtrack and identify, say, now we divert from the agenda or the real purpose and promise of America, which is democracy to the world. Captain to Mankessim.
Okay.
Mechia Osajofo and Inaima. But Captain William said Mankessim was the capital, or is actually the center of the infantilman.
That's right.
It's the heart of the entire infantilman.
That's right.
Mankessim was established in 1252. Captain, that's over 500 years ago.
Good.
But what is the state of Mankessim today? Captain Minyanka will just show a few of the footages from the boiler, the hospital, and the school. Now, because a idea said you have to see it to believe it.
That's right.
So people will not even believe it. Because, Captain, how is it that a whole town, which has more than 50,000, between 50,000 and 100,000 residents, a hospital, I don't know if we should even call it a hospital, but a hospital with only 3 rooms as wards. Every room has just about 2 beds, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
It means for a population of between 50,000 and 100,000, they have just 6 beds, servicing all of them.
Now it's 4. Because nurses now converted 1 room at the changing room.
Captain, this is nothing short of genocide. No, seriously. Captain, genocide, and yes, no, but if your policies are such that it's deliberately orchestrated to reduce population or to make sure that the people cannot receive a basic right as healthcare, that is genocide.
Okay.
And to say, I said, BBC, there's an emergency for any resident of Mankessim. Where are they going to transfer them to?
Yadobeko room and hospital.
But that's a private institution.
Okay.
And to say only Sika will for health service. I'm not sure Muji National Health Insurance. And if you don't have the money to pay for private healthcare, what happens to the people of Mankessim? It means every single resident of Mankessim has been sentenced to a death sentence.
Oh.
No, of course. They are one sickness away from a death sentence. Because they're only emergency and there's no way you can make it to Accra or to any of the surrounding towns. Ubewu. So that's just it's a death sentence. But you're only one death sentence away. It's just a sickness away to your death. And the captain, that is genocide. Captain, we went to Mankessim.
Hospital.
Yes, this is the hospital. So-called hospital. Captain, for basic necessities, Omu need disposable plant. Omu need this disposable system. And see, Omu waste, where do they keep them? Captain, you yourself went away and you opened up what they call the your friend
placenta pit.
Placenta pit. Captain will say.
Oh, right.
This is a national. This is a health hazard, Captain, because human tissues, and these things are left in a pit. I say but this has been left open, Captain. Do you know the implications of this? Because in so too, this is not the rain. This is not the waterproof thing. Can you imagine this? Placenta at the afterbirth. After pregnant women give birth, this is where they toss the placenta. Can you imagine this? Captain, you see, we've gotten the time.
Nii?
Captain, it's unacceptable.
Very.
No, Captain, and you know, Mankessim Mankessim was established 1252. And see, from 1992, Mankessim has been in existence. They've been under every single administration. When it is not MPP, it is not NDC. Because at every single time, Mankessim has been there, and this problem has been there. Government in, government out. And see, government, Captain, it's about time, sir, the people of Mankessim will look beyond the political lenses. Sir, this is not a partisan issue. This is a problem that has existed in Mankessim. Government in, government out. And see, at what point will the people of Mankessim say, enough is enough?
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
No, Captain, the people don't understand.
Mankessim NDC corner MPP aba, MPP corner NDC aba.
But the problem is still there.
Uh-huh.
And hospital, no, so share the banner in front of them, no. Yatro Golden Jubilee Hospital, which means
Golden Jubilee.
A year Kufuor
Sure.
time, NISC is our hospital.
Sure.
No. So it means after Kufuor's government, we've had several other administrations. We've had the NDC and the MPP alternating. And see, none of them could even do any simple renovation to expand that hospital. But they will drive into Mankessim every single political season to go and campaign and say, Yento Abama. I don't blame the politicians. I blame the residents of Mankessim.
Okay.
I blame the residents of Mankessim. Captain, we drove by and we saw the school. You should see what they call a school. Not even fit to rear pigs. With the greatest respect to whoever is concerned. But that school is not fit to even raise pigs. But, Captain, these are human beings we call future leaders.
School no bro for
now, what's your mission statement to cry history? I said to create a conducive teaching and learning environment.
To attain
academic excellence and moral discipline for societal good. Now, so OSHA environment, my goodness. No, see, this is the veranda. And come on, I've said this. We think education, the children should go and sit in the classroom and receive instruction for long hours.
That's right.
But we don't understand, leisure and play is a very key component of education. But you see, most of the so-called government schools in Ghana, I'm yet to see whether has a functioning playground. None of them. And why do we turn around and we are surprised at the performance of the school children? When Shomo School Park. Shomo School Park. Captain, I like that Nanado was angry because a sitting chief sat when the national anthem was being played. But Captain, I've gone around many government schools and they have flag poles, but there's never a Ghana flag in sight.
That's right.
And see, if the children are even going to have assembly and sing the national anthem, to what are they singing the national anthem?
Compound. And to us.
Captain,
Ache.
Government is serious business because the lives of millions of people depend on government policies. Captain, say, for phone, no. For phone, no to say on mine, no. The operating system within the phone, and as a computer, no, is the constitution. The apps that run the phone, no, are your policies. And so you can have a very good functioning phone. If you don't have a good operating system and you don't have good apps, the phone is useless. And see, if Ghana is a very good country, all the natural resources that we need, everything is ready.
Sure.
But if you don't have a good operating system, which is our constitution, and you do not have the good apps, which are your policies, the country will become a useless country. And that is exactly the problem we're having in Ghana today. And see, Captain, I even feel ashamed, sir. And not for myself, but I feel ashamed on behalf of our so-called leaders, sir. If they go for international meetings, sir, AU meetings, UN General Assembly, and you meet your fellow presidents who are bragging about the things they've done in their countries. For instance, Rwanda. Rwanda has one of the best bus systems in the whole world today. Meanwhile, they had sent people here to Ghana to come and study our metro bus system. But today, they can boast of having the best bus system in the world. It is also share when Unyanko president said, Paul Kagame, what called UN AU General meeting, and now UN General Assembly, and you meet your fellow presidents, and they're talking about policies and programs in their countries. What do particularly Ghanaian leaders talk about? So they're looking for more avenue to go and borrow money. Borrow money to do what? And so you boast and raise your shoulders up, say, oh, you're president. Oh, you're president of the number one gold producing country in the whole Africa. What do you have to show for it? Apart from, And see, Captain, the $600 million that was borrowed from the IMF just recently.
Asa.
What did they use it for?
Asa.
Captain, there's a saying.
So can cry. Eta.
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 Captain, there's a serious issue here. Sir, I think it was Jefferson who says this, that the price you pay for democracy is eternal vigilance. Say, who the two members, a few people say, Omunshe Adiene so, and you do not watch, say, you would end up losing your rights. And that's exactly what's happening to Ghana today. Captain, since 1993, Obetia almost say it is one administration. ABR, MPP will say it is NDC. NDC will say it is MPP. But Captain, do you know, since 93 till date, MPP and NDC have never gone into opposition before. Since 93 till date, NPP and NDC have never been in opposition, never. This is Amikasa. Government is in three arms. You have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. This is three arms of government. The only thing that changes is the executive arm. And since a year presidential elections, we change who becomes the executive leader. That's just one arm of government. But MPP and NDC have always been in parliament. They refer to themselves as majority and minority, and they just alternate between themselves. But at every single time since 93, Captain, the two of them have always been in government. They've never been in opposition. It is only the executive arm that changes hands. And see, for the first time, in our political history in 2020, we had a hung parliament.
That's right.
Where there was no longer excuse, say, oh, hey, MPP are buying, hey, NDC are buying. No, they had equal number in parliament.
But because they are the same, they did the same.
That, Captain, it is under the so-called Fourth Republic, Eighth Parliament, which has been the most criminal in the history of Ghana. The most criminal government in the history of Ghanaian politics has been the Fourth Republic. And particularly the Eighth Parliament of the Fourth Republic has been the most criminal. Captain, this is the most illegitimate parliament we've ever seen in the history of Ghana. South doesn't have representation. South doesn't become the Declaration of Independence. If you go, they've listed about 25 crimes of the British king. One of the main reasons was that they were having taxation without representation. That's exactly what's happening to the people of South. They have no representation in parliament, but Captain, they continue to pay taxes. So if in America's history, they went to war, there was civil war in America because some people claim, they were paying taxes without representation in the National Assembly. And this is what created national chaos in America. How is it that we are having the same thing in Ghana, but we're quiet, and we claim to be a democratic nation? And South has no representation in parliament since 2020. 3 years and counting. But we've had 2 by-elections in this country. Captain, tell me this is not irresponsible. This is unconstitutional. This is criminal. And this is taxation without representation. And I wonder why so-called legal luminaries in this country are quiet. We have Supreme Court judges who have acted as if they've not seen this thing happen. The Speaker of Parliament raised an issue when they resumed from Parliament last year, and then raised an issue about the SAL issue. And then we thought, he will follow up on this and make sure SAL will receive their due, and there'll be justice done by them. But it's going back to business as usual. Captain Messi, in the last 3 or 4 months, we've had 2 by-elections. But SAL continues to have no representation in parliament. Captain, I'm telling you again on the record, this 8th parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana is the most unconstitutional, most illegitimate parliament in the history of Ghanaian politics. And they take me out on that at any time. Let's debate this issue. But the people of SAL continue to pay taxes without representation in parliament. And people claim we're in a democracy. Captain, wrap up with the
baller.
The baller. Captain, you may have videos now.
Yeah, sure.
Your friend in Mount Baller.
Mount
Baller is a new tourist attraction site in Mankessim.
Ewo.
Mount Baller. Because Captain, Baller, Ujinasua, you see the whole of Mankessim. What do you call it? And your Mount Baller.
Any?
Oh, we cry station nature.
Debbie, Eba.
Eba. Behind the station.
I know I be rolling a car.
No, you should see this. So much so that garbage is moving into people's rooms. Check. This is on top of the baller. That's the footage you're seeing. You can see visually the whole of Mankessim standing on the heap of rubbish.
And go for dance now.
This is where human beings are living. And you should see children playing around this. Captain, these are the things no, this is garbage. And see, let's put all political issues aside. This is a national health issue because we're in the rainy season. Since you talk Captain, you can see the children playing around. And these are settlements with people's houses all around Mount Bola. Now, with a little rainfall in this, you can imagine the outbreak of cholera that can happen here. And cholera is so contagious. If it starts in one community, it can spread like wildfire in a very short time. And see, are we waiting for this to go out of hand before we start complaining, say, we have a cholera outbreak? Captain, can you imagine, say, 2023, we are still dealing with cholera. Can you imagine this?
Sure. And malaria.
Say, about 6, you cannot sit outside here because the mosquitoes you would find. Captain, so we have leadership in this country.
Yeah, so they say.
And you see, as a leader, you don't wait for problems to be brought to you. Captain, you yourself have to be abreast with everything that's happening in your jurisdiction. And see, and since I will be trying to say, MC, there's a problem, No, you must find out. Make sure your appointees are running proper reports every period. If it's every month, every week, whichever it is. But you have periodic reports that are brought to you so you can assess and see what the problems are in your jurisdiction. Captain, I've told these guys know how to win elections, they know how to run the country. Because for how long are we going to continue on this? And Captain, I blame us. Because it is said that bad things happen when good men remain silent. And see, those who are supposed to be speaking up and making sure, say, we hold this vote to account, we've sat silent and we are quiet. And we've acted as if nothing is happening. But Captain, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's the essence of our governance system right now. Say, once you get to me, understand, say, it comes with great responsibility. And not just responsibility, but accountability. Because Onua, you have to report to them and give account to them for everything you've done with that stewardship. But we've acted as if nothing is happening. So-called leaders are acting as if they've not seen what is happening. But they should continue playing deaf to this and playing ostrich to this. Captain, there's a time coming for judgment where everyone will have to give account for the stewardship that has been given to them. And Captain, no one shall escape that judgment. Mark my words, Captain.
All right. Ima,